Hi, my name's Denise. I'm the cruise sales specialist here at Inspiring Travel, and today we're here to talk about all things cruising and answer any questions.
Are cruises all-inclusive?
Most luxury cruises are all-inclusive. Generally, as a rule, all cruises include full board meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner. They will include teas, coffees throughout the day, juices, perhaps an iced tea that you can get from one of the restaurants. So that's what you tend to get as a bare minimum on a cruise. The higher the level of cruise, the more inclusive it becomes. So the extras could perhaps be a premium drinks package, could be gratuities, could be excursions, speciality dining, Wi-Fi. So there are many, many more inclusions that you can get with an ultra luxury cruise.
What should I pack for a cruise holiday?
I love to give advice on what to pack for a cruise holiday, and it varies, of course, from parts of the world that you're traveling to. It will vary on time of the year and the climate. However, there are 3 or 4 things that always go in my suitcase when traveling on a cruise. They are a rain mac and an umbrella. You never know what the weather's going to do wherever you're going. It can be the Caribbean in March and you still get a tropical rainfall. Always take my binoculars. My binoculars go in, they're a must. Great for looking out over the sea at perhaps other ships or animals or wildlife. That's an absolute must. Along with a small fleecy cardigan, even in the Caribbean in the winter, because nights can perhaps be a little bit chilly at sea. So those 3 items always go in my case when I travel on a cruise.
What should I wear on a cruise ship at night?
I do get asked about dress code all the time from clients. What will the dress code be? What should I wear for dinner in the evening? And the answer is, on an ultra luxury cruise, you wear what you feel comfortable wearing. If you want to wear a sequin dress out to dinner at night, absolutely. If you just want to wear a nice evening casual dress, perfect too. The idea is all about you and what you feel comfortable wearing. You would wear the same as perhaps if you were going out for dinner at home to a nice fancy restaurant, you would think of the same kind of dress code. Gentlemen, I do find it a little bit harder, and I always say to the men that if you're concerned over dress code, chinos, short sleeve shirt, linen jacket. That's easy enough.
Where do you park your car when you go on a cruise holiday?
When travelling on a cruise, if you're sailing out of the UK, you can generally drive and park your car direct in the official terminal parking. And I was always advised to actually park in the official on-site parking as opposed to an off-site. It will be run and managed by the official port authorities, which would include Southampton, Liverpool, Leith as well, Newcastle. So always use the official port parking for an ex-UK cruise.
Is cruising safe?
Ships are built to such a high safety standard now that it is one of the safest ways to travel. Obviously, on any cruise ship, when you board, you have your muster drill, and this is quite an important mandatory drill that takes place before the cruise can even set sail. The cruise will not be allowed to set sail until everybody on the ship, whether that's 300 or 3,000 people, until everybody has checked off and been signed off from attending the mandatory drill, the ship cannot sail. Muster drills vary from ship to ship. There are some ships now that allow the drill to be taken online and you can watch it on TV in your suite. Others you'll have to attend where the lifeboat is and stand with your life jacket on the deck as the drill is taking place. The captain will give an announcement over the tannoy as to all of the strict requirements on board in terms of smoking, any other safety requirements that you might need to know. Muster drills can be quite mundane, but they are very, very important for you to attend.
What is a muster drill?
A muster drill is one of the most important safety features that a cruise ship must carry out before the ship's allowed to set sail from port. Every guest that's on board the ship must attend the muster, generally in person, and the muster will explain what would happen in the event of an emergency on board ship. The master drill also explains all of the safety features on board the ship, which could include the use of electrical items in the suites, smoking, so lots of onboard safety features, but by maritime law, a ship must have conducted this before it's allowed to set sail.
Do muster drills differ from each other on different cruises?
Muster drills can differ from different cruises, whether you're on an ocean cruise or an expedition cruise, and I've attended many muster drills the many times I've cruised. On expedition cruise ships, it actually caught my attention quite amazingly. We were on an expedition cruise and we were at the muster drill, and they actually tell you in this safety drill how to survive on the ice if anything happened to the ship. So they send you ashore with your own personal flotation bodysuit, your own personal survival kit that will keep you alive for 24 hours, that has food packs, water, and a tent that you can actually put up on the ice. So muster drills on expedition ships actually are on a whole new other level.
Is it common to get seasick on a cruise?
You can get seasick on a cruise, however, it's important to be prepared. So do take seasickness tablets with you. The size of the ship will depend, and where you're cruising, as to whether or not you could suffer a bout of seasickness. Obviously, the rougher the waters, the higher chance of that. But if you take the seasickness tablets, it hopefully shouldn't have any impact on your voyage at all. I've been on countless cruises. I have never been seasick once. Watch the next cruise.
Do cruise ships have stabilizers?
All cruise ships have stabilizers, and this does help with seasickness. And you can also choose a suite or cabin or stateroom to be in a better location on the ship to eradicate the most movement. Midship is best.
Do you feel motion sickness on a cruise ship?
You don't tend to feel motion sickness on a cruise. That's when you get home.
Is cruising bad for the environment?
Every form of travel has some kind of impact on the environment, but it's important that we all still continue to travel. It enriches our lives. It's a way for us to make memories with families and friends. It's a way for us to be educated on other cultures. It's a very important part of our lives. So the important thing is to find what we can do to reduce our carbon footprint whilst we're travelling. Cruise lines are already doing this. As an example, by 2050, all European ports have had to sign up to say they will offer ship-to-shore power. All cruise ships that are being built have to have this technology on board. Cruise ships are cutting down on their single-use plastics on board, and some modern new cruise ships even come with their own water producing facility. As an example, on the brand new Explorer Journeys, a nice little touch I found in their suites. By the side of the bed is a little hand-sewn pillow, and it says, "No need to change my bedding," and you can leave that on the bed. So everybody can do their own little part when they're travelling to reduce their carbon footprint.
Can I use my mobile phone on a cruise ship?
You have to be very careful if using your mobile phone on a cruise ship, especially whilst at sea and you're disconnected from any 4G, 5G. If you find your mobile phone pops up with cellular at sea, maritime at sea, these can be very, very expensive charges. So it is best to purchase the Wi-Fi package on board and switch off your data.
Do cruise ships have Wi-Fi internet access?
All cruise ships have Wi-Fi on board. The newer the cruise ship, the better the Wi-Fi. The older the cruise ship, you may find it possibly could drop out, it won't work in certain areas. All new modern cruise ships have the best Wi-Fi at sea, such as the new Starlink Wi-Fi that's being rolled out on quite a few of the new modern ships now. Can be better than perhaps some Wi-Fi at home.
What is there to do on a cruise ship?
There's so much to do on board a cruise ship during the day. You can do as much or as little as you like. As an example, a typical sea day, you could get up at 6 a.m, sunrise, and go and do the morning sunrise yoga up on the top deck as the sun is rising up on the horizon. It's such a fantastic experience to do that. I do it maybe once, and then the other times I have a lie-in for the rest of the cruise. There are also culinary schools on board, so you could do a cookery lesson. You could go and meet the head chef, and they'll teach you how to cook on board. You could go and visit the spa treatments. You could use the thermal thalassotherapy pools, the salt rooms. You could have a treatment on board. And you could also take a dance lesson. So you could learn to line dance, you could learn to salsa, many different sort of lessons that you could take on board. There's also enrichment programs on board as well that will teach you about the destinations that you're visiting. So you could go and visit a lecturer on board who will teach you all about the ancient Greek ruin that you're about to go and visit the next day. So there are many things on board during the day that you can do. And in the evening, there's a whole other host of activities that you can do. You could go and watch a theatrical performance in the theatre. You could go and see a singer or a musician. There could be a quiz on board. Or you could go and watch a movie out on deck under the stars.
Do cruise ships have gyms?
Cruise ships have some of the best gyms, and especially the new modern cruise ships. Gyms are becoming bigger and bigger because that's what all of us want now, is the nice, healthy lifestyle. Gyms will be fully equipped with all of the equipment that you could want, rowing machines, treadmills, every equipment that you could possibly think of in the gym, as well as classes. They also have outdoor gyms, so they'll have cycle machines out on deck, so you can cycle in the open air. And classes run from morning until night.
What is a cruise and stay holiday?
A cruise and stay holiday would be if you want to combine the cruise, as it sounds, with a stay, but you don't just have to stay. So on that land portion, you could choose perhaps to do a tour. You could do Iguazu Falls in South America with the cruise. You could choose to do Japan and a bullet train with the cruise. Australia, you could do a land tour with Australia and then combine a cruise. The possibilities are endless with a cruise and stay holiday.
Which cruise line should I choose?
Choosing which cruise line to cruise with can come down to a number of different factors, really. It could be dependent on where you want to cruise. It could be dependent on what style of cruise you want. You may want a big kind of all singing, all dancing ship that's got the full West End shows in the evening. On the other hand, you might want a smaller yacht style ship where you can just sit out on deck in the evening and relax. So you need to take into account what you want on board the ship and what style of cruise you want, as well as the part of the world that you want to travel to.
What is the best cruise for couples?
There are quite a few ultra-luxury cruise lines that are excellent for couples, and you tend to find that perhaps there are less children on board. So for example, Regent Seven Seas, Seabourn, Silver Sea, they can be excellent for couples.
What is the best cruise line for a honeymoon?
Seabourn cruises are fantastic for honeymooners because they have a unique ashore caviar in the surf barbecue party, which is quite a special, unique moment that for honeymooners can just add a little bit of icing on the cake.
What are the best cruises for families?
The best ultra luxury cruise lines for families are Explorer Journeys. Explorer Journeys is the brand new cruise line this year. Very, very welcomed for families in the luxury market. It does have on board a hangout zone for children that has a foosball, a pool table, PlayStation. It also has plenty of swimming pools on board as well to accommodate adults only and the children, and also has a full children's menu as well that can be accommodated for children whilst on board. And then there are other cruise lines like Regent Seven Seas who have the Youth Mariner program, which offers science programs, educational programs throughout parts of the world such as Alaska.
Which are the best cruises for foodies?
Oceania Cruises do have the tagline of the finest cuisine at sea. And I can attest that is very true. After travelling with quite a few of the different cruise lines, they have some amazing restaurants on board. The French restaurant Les Jacques and the Italian Toscana, at the Polo Grill Steakhouse. They really have some amazing restaurants on board, and you can eat in one restaurant one night and say, this was absolutely my favourite, and you'll go to a different one the next night, and then that one will be your favourite. They're absolutely superb.
Which is the best cruise for vegans or those with special dietary requirements?
The best cruise lines for healthy living and alternate diets can be Explorer Journeys, who have a whole new menu for vegans, but also Windstar, because they have a whole plant-based menu, not just vegan. They have a whole plant-based menu on some of their cruises with Windstar Cruises.
Which cruises are best for first-timers?
The best cruise line for first-timers would be Explorer Journeys. They have truly come into the modern age of cruising, and it's been said for years that the age of cruisers is coming down and cruising is becoming more modern. But when you actually cruise with Explorer Journeys, you realise how true this really is. They have such a new modern outlook on everything, not just the cruise itself. They're trying to steer away from the stigma of having a main dining room for dinner. It's all speciality dining restaurants. They also are keeping numbers to a minimum on the shore excursions, so you're not being hoarded around on a shore excursion. But also the programs that are on board for people healthy living that don't drink alcohol. They have a soda club on board. There are just many, many different features that have really brought them into the new modern age of cruising, and a first-time cruiser, I'm sure, would be blown away by Explorer Journeys.
Which is the best cruise line for solo travellers?
The luxury cruise ships will have single specials throughout the year on certain and different voyages. It could be whereby there are 0 single supplements, and they are the ones to really look out for. Reduced supplements can be as low as 25% or 50%, so you do have to watch out for the single offers. Whilst on board, many of the cruise ships have single programs where the solo travellers can go and meet in the evening and mingle together or have dinner together. So there's plenty of activities and social aspects on board for solo travellers.
What are the best cruises for people with disabilities?
Cruise ships are well equipped to deal with passengers that have mobility issues. They'll have accessible suites on board that have adapted bathrooms. Some cruise ships will have seats for the swimming pool to allow those with mobility issues to be lifted in and out of the swimming pool. So cruise ships are well equipped to take passengers with disabilities. I would, however, just be aware there are some vessels, perhaps the smaller sailing vessels, that are not as equipped because they don't have lifts on board. They're too small, so you do just have to be a little bit aware of the smaller sailing vessels.
Which is the best cruise line for unique experiences?
The cruise lines have some amazing experiences, whether you're on the ship or ashore. As an example, one of my favourite things to do on a cruise ship is to sit out on deck under the stars and watch a movie on the big screen. Cashmere blanket, popcorn, hot chocolate, sitting down watching a movie as you're sailing along under the stars. It's just magical. SeaDream Yacht Club also have a very unique experience whereby you can sleep on a cabana daybed and you can camp out under the stars overnight. The daybed is made up with quilt, pillows, staff are waiting in the morning with coffee, and they'll come and serve you breakfast and coffee as you wake up as the sun's rising. You can also, with Seabourn, spend an evening at Ephesus. As Ephesus is closed to the rest of the public, Seabourn guests will be invited into the site, and there'll be a classical concert and a champagne reception purely exclusive to Seabourn guests. So it's a very unique experience. And as a final example, Amma Waterways, you'll be invited to a palace where there's a hosted champagne reception and a concert There are some amazing, unique experiences that you can do on cruises that you just can't do on any other type of holiday.